So today we have started Lewis's calipers for his Project 7 Golf. Good evening guys, here we have a set of rear calipers which we're going to be reconditioning for Lewis from Project 7. We're going to be doing a little video on the process so people can see a little of what goes into making old calipers that are rusty look like new. So we're getting the calipers into the blast cabinet, having to do it in 2 trips as I've only got one hand because we're filming. They're now all going to be blasted and then they will be put into the oven to be outgassed and then they'll be powder coated red. So we have my daughter involved in doing these calipers. She's helping me out at the minute. So she's on the shop blast cabinet doing the blasting and she filmed the time lapse herself. She did have it on low quality when she was filming, so I had to educate her on that. But we've got a bit of a time lapse showing you the caliper's been cleaned up in the blast cabinet prior to going in the oven for outgassing. When they go in the oven for outgassing, that's to open up the pores of the metal and they go rusty again and then they have to be blasted again, then they're ready for powder coating. When you put them in the oven for outgassing, you put them at 250 degrees, which is higher than the bake temperature for the powder coat. And what that ensures is that you don't have any pop of air bubbles through the powder coat and gives you a nice finish. If you don't do the outgassing process, you will 99 times out of 100 have problems with your finish on your final caliper. So you're looking at the calipers now when they've been shot blasted. They've gone through one cycle of shot blasting and they've been cleaned up, and then that's them going in the oven for the outgassing cycle. We do it for about 45 minutes at 250 degrees, and as you can see when it's finished, they're not as rusty as they were before, but the pores have opened, impurities have come out of the castings and they're looking rusty again. So Natalie, my daughter, will be blasting these again, which we haven't put on the video because we don't want to put too much in of the blasting. It's not very entertaining, to be honest. We've got them masked up. You put bolts and hangers and bleed screws in so that you don't get powder coat in areas you don't want powder coat, and then they go in the oven ready for preheating. So we hot shoot these. We got advised to do that by another powder coater when I first started. It's to help get a better finish and not have the bubbles coming through from the outgassing of the castings. You heat them up to 180 degrees, which is the bake temperature for the powder. It takes about 35 minutes to get them up to that temperature. And then we take them out of the oven while they're hot, hang them up. We hit them with the colour, which Lewis chose as red, and we give them a nice coat all over to make sure it's sealed in, and they're back in the oven for 20 minutes to finish off the bake and harden it. They then take around about an hour to cool off before you can handle them. We'll mask them straight away because once they've gone cold the masking tape is very difficult to get off, so we remove the masking tape while they're still red hot and then just leave them to cool down before we get them built up. New seals, new pistons, and get them all put together again. So powder coating is very much like wet painting. If you put too much on you'll get a run. It is a little bit more forgiving, so you can go a little bit heavier. Through experience you do realise how heavy you can go because it's nice to get a good thick coat on. It's more protection for the caliper against the elements that when they're on the car, obviously salt on the roads and things, they do corrode. If you only paint them they don't last long, which is why we powder coat them. The bake time on the powder is about 12 minutes at 180 degrees, but we put them back in and give them 20 minutes in the oven because that gives them 5 minutes, 8 minutes or so for it to actually catch back up to the temperature, because obviously they've been out of the oven for a while. The slider holes are masked up on the carriers because you don't want any stray powder going in there. It doesn't tend to go in the holes anyway, but the edges of it will get a build up and then your sliders wouldn't move freely in there even when they're greased. So now, with the finished calipers in hand, all built up with the new parts, has Lewis chosen the right colour? I'm sure Lewis will be happy with these, but I'm guessing we'll have another set coming our way, because he'll want front and rear matching red calipers, and not want old ones on one end and nice new looking ones on the other. We're also going to be doing some paint work for him on the Golf, a respray with the body kit on. Don't want to go into too much detail because I'm not quite sure what Lewis has mentioned on his own channel, but there will be some videos coming out of the work we do on the Golf, some fairly detailed ones on the bodywork, and Lewis is going to be helping with fitting of the body kit and getting it all ready. So as you can see, a little before and after, no comparison really, they look absolutely stunning.